delegate effectively and be completely satisfied with the results. Number one is to know what is mission critical and what can only the leader do. By knowing this, you'll be able to delegate more appropriately. So this might be something that requires a certain degree or a certification. For example, if you're a doctor, only you can perform the surgery. Of course, you could delegate some of those administrative tasks, but only you will be able to perform the surgery at your practice. So that's a really good example of something that is mission critical and only the leader can do. Number two is to know your financials. ROI, profit centers, and revenue streams. When you understand where your money is coming from and where there might be potential waste, you will be best equipped to delegate. For example, items that lie outside of the leader's zone of genius, or items that might be more profitable if the leader wasn't spending so much time on them, or when to outsource in order to save time and money. Number three is to know what is good enough. In order for the leader to feel good and happy with the delegation process, they need to define in their own mind what is good enough for this particular project or task. What is the benchmark for success and what are their expectations? This is going to help other people understand your expectations for the given project. Number four is knowing how to communicate. Crystal clear communication is the key to delegation. No one knows what's on the leader's mind and no one can read the leader's mind. So forcing people to guess what the leader wants is really a recipe for failure and frustration. Great leaders are able to guide the team's time and attention so that they know what projects to work on at the right time and which people should be working on those projects. Number five is to know that proper delegation takes about 3 weeks. This isn't going to happen overnight. The leader is encouraging people to really completely change their habits. There are new rules in place, and the leader needs to be consistent with how they are delegating those tasks. You can't just delegate a task one time and expect it to stick. Instead, be consistent and delegate those projects over and over again in order to form a new habit. For example, my husband was a huge sports fan. I needed to consult major sports schedules before making any plans. And of course, COVID hit when March Madness should have been going on, a great time for sports. But instead, he was really forced to stop watching. So then when the NBA Finals came back, he hardly watched at all. Certainly this was an initial shock, but it didn't take that long, just a couple of weeks before his habit around sports had completely shifted. Managing your team's habits are the same way. It's going to be a little hard to adjust at first, but in about 3 weeks, these new behaviors will become habits.